Shepherd's pie, rich, creamy, comforting. These are the ingredients for the shepherd's pie. I forgot the peas. We're going to start by cutting our cleaned potatoes into small but similarly sized pieces. I'm using Yukon Gold potatoes because I love the texture and I don't have to peel them. It's fine to use russet potatoes, but be sure to peel them before boiling. I'm using lentils in this pie today. Lentils have a lot of protein and they are actually my preference for shepherd's pie. I used brown lentils which hold their shape well, but you could use any lentil that you like. Be aware that a different type of lentil could need a longer cooking time. I'm now going to make the quote-unquote meat portion of the pie. I start by chopping an onion, a large celery stalk, and several carrots, also known as mirepoix. I want them all to be about the same size. When cutting a carrot or any other food that is round, I recommend placing the flat side down to help prevent an injury when cutting. Purple carrots are definitely not required. I just think they are pretty, and in my area even organic purple carrots are very cheap, so I eat a lot of carrots. I heated a large skillet and added a tablespoon of neutral oil. Once that was hot, I added the carrots, onions, and celery. I allowed the mixture to cook on medium heat several minutes until the onions started to soften. Next, I minced the garlic. I used 3 cloves in this dish, but you should use as much or as little garlic as you like. I then added the minced garlic, seasonings, and tomato paste. The garlic will become fragrant quickly. Toasting the seasonings will allow the flavors to be more available, and cooking the tomato paste will allow it to caramelize and intensify the flavor. I do like mushrooms in my shepherd's pie. I'm chopping them in somewhat largish pieces because I really like mushrooms and I don't want them to cook down too much. You should cut your mushrooms in whatever size you like. The mushrooms go into the hot pan and cook for a couple of minutes. The pan got dry, so I added some water. Any liquid such as broth or beer could be used if the pan starts to dry out. It's already looking so good, I swear I could just eat it like this. Next, our peas go in. I'm using frozen peas, but fresh would work as well. It's been 15 minutes, so it's time to check the lentils. I'll just give them a taste. And into the sauté pan they go. The lentil water does not go in. The flour is now mixed into the lentils and vegetables. I use about 1 to 2 tablespoons per cup of liquid that I will use. The flour goes in first so that it can cook out the raw flour flavor. I mix in the flour and let it cook for a couple of minutes before adding the liquid. And here's where many home cooks go wrong. The meat mixture will dry out more in the oven. You want a nice gravy so that it isn't dry when you eat it. I've seen people only cook the meat and the veggies without making a gravy, and no gravy equals a very dry, unpleasant dish. I'm using a vegetable stock that I made, and I'm starting with 2 cups. Beer is often used in place of some of the liquid. Guinness is a very popular choice and one that I would choose if I could. The lentil mixture will continue to simmer for several minutes. We want the liquid to get quite a bit thick, and I like to make sure the carrots are completely cooked. The potatoes took about 25 minutes to cook. To the potatoes, I am adding butter, plant milk, a bit of thyme, salt, pepper, and some cheese. I like to use either cashew milk or oat milk, but be very careful not to add a milk that has been sweetened with sugar or has added vanilla, as this will make the flavor odd. This recipe calls for 3 pounds of potatoes. However, I used 5 pounds today so that I would have leftovers. I put about a cup of cheese into the potatoes. This is totally optional. And you can make the mashed potatoes however you like them. Just be sure to make enough for the dish and be sure that your potatoes are not runny, as this will result in a soggy pie. Everything is ready and it's time to arrange the pie. I like to do about 50% lentil mixture to about 50% potato mixture, but you could use whatever ratio you like. Once the lentil mixture is in the pan, it's time for the potatoes. I find the easiest method is to add large dollops of potato and then smooth out with an offset spatula. A knife or regular spatula would also work fine. I do try to make sure the entire top is covered to prevent the gravy from seeping out. Now I'm going to rough up the top so that I can have some crispy peaks and then add my remaining cheese, which is about half a cup. Topping with cheese is also optional. Just a quick note about shepherd's pie. It is traditionally made with lamb, which I'm obviously not using. Cottage pie is very similar, but made with ground beef. I couldn't find the name of the dish if it doesn't use meat, so we're going with shepherd's pie. Thank you so much for watching my video. If you love delicious veggies, check out my video on braised veggies.
That's really good.
Whoa.